Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm reviewing the brand new palette from Juvia's Place. This is the Magic by Juvia's Place. Now this is a 16 pan eyeshadow palette and it is huge, and the size is exactly the same as the Masquerade palette if you have it from Juvia's Place. Not just the size, even the weight. The amount of product you get is exactly the same. I did check. You get 57.6 grams, that is 2.03 ounce of product in the Magic palette, and that's the exact same amount you get also in the Masquerade palette. So if you break it down, for per pan you get 0.12 ounce of product, which is a lot of product, guys. It's quite a lot. And I paid $35 for, I mean, it retails for $35, but I did use like a coupon code, 10% of coupon code, which is like everywhere on Instagram, so you can just pick and choose. So there is shipping for just buying just one palette, because you do get free shipping if you spend more than $100 on Juvia's Place website. So but I just went ahead and bought this, so I did have to pay for shipping, but a 10% off code just knocked off me, say 50% of the shipping, and I didn't have to pay tax, because Juvia's Place, I think they are based out of New Jersey. At least their warehouse is in New Jersey, and I live in California, so out of state. I didn't have to pay tax. So it does have a picture. I think this palette was inspired from a day and night look, so that's why you have like a day look, and then, oh wait, this is the day look, because it's like a sun inspired golden kind of an accessories here you see, and then you have like a night look, like with the bluish, like cool tone moon kind of inspired look. So yeah, and then you have 16 shades here in total, as you can see, and then you have like a warm, I wouldn't call this completely warm, because you have like a very icy pink here. So there's a mix of warm and cool tones, like you have like moon inspired shades, I think at least. You have this row completely is like a silvery bluish white kind of row, and then you have this greens, and then you have this gold, beautiful gold and sunset kind of shades as well. And you do have like two kind of golds. You have like a bronzy gold, very wearable, and then you have like a yellow gold, like beautiful, like a bold gold, which is very, very pretty. So let's get into the swatches, and I also want to show comparison with the Saharan palette, where you do have like two reds here, and oh wait, you just have two reds here, and you do have two reds in the Magic palette as well. You see, in fact, two reds and then an orangish red. So I want to show comparison, and you do have this kind of a very blackened green in the Magic palette, and you do have like a blackened green in the Saharan palette right here. And then you do have a very similar gold, that bronzy gold that I showed in the Magic palette. You do have something very similar here, and then also this let me show it side by side. Then you have this this is the bronzy gold I was talking about in the Magic palette, and then you have a very bronzy gold here, the one I showed you right now, and then you have like a green gold, like green yellow gold in the Magic palette, and you have a very similar green gold here in the Saharan palette as well. And then as you can see, these two pops of red, orangish red, and then you have three pops of red and here. Well, I consider this also having some kind of a red tone to it. So yeah. And then also I also have the Masquerade palette to compare the greens with, because you do have like some beautiful greens here as well. Greens, you do see the green, and so I wanted to compare that with the two greens that you see here. So anyways, let's first start with this palette. You first have Casey. I think all the names are inspired from Africa, African dialect, and their names as well. So yeah, they are unique definitely. But let's start with the bottom. This is the top row. I'm holding the palette upside down. This is a matte. It's like a cream shade actually. very, very pigmented. Like it looks cream in the pan, but it's actually a beige shade. It's a matte shade. And then you have so that is Casey, and then you have Osun. Osun is the pink that I was talking about. So I don't think you can see the shade properly because it is so icy and pink. It's a metallic shade and it's very, very pigmented. And then you have Zakia. Zakia is like it's not like a straight up red, but it is you know, like a burnt orangish red. That's Zakia, and it is a matte. It has good pigmentation. It blends really well as well. Then you have Nubia. Nubia is this gold, this green gold. This is a metallic shade. It's like very, very pigmented. It's like a foil shade. These truly are foil shade, guys. It like beautifully catches the light. So that is Nubia. And then you have Kogi. Kogi is actually a coral red, if you ask me. You see, Kogi, it's very, very pretty. It has like coral tones to it. Do you see how beautifully it pops on my skin tone? That's the one I have on my crease. All three shades of these reds I have on my crease. So that's Kogi. It's beautifully pigmented. I didn't have any problems with that. Then this is a bronzy gold shade, which is Borono. Borono is actually like, it's not super foil like these two. I think probably it would come under a satin category of when it comes to finishes. That is actually pigmented as well, Borono. Then you have Nana. Nana is this shade, this beautiful brown orange shade, which is also very, I'm so sorry, I didn't wipe my finger off properly. So let me do Nana once again. So that's Nana. Nana is like a burnt brownish orange, which actually is a very pigmented transition shade. It works beautifully on dark skin tone. It's very pigmented and it also blends very easily. Then you have, finally you have in the second row, Zuba. Now Zuba is actually a duochrome. Unlike Osun looks so icy and white. But Zuba is actually has like a pink coral tone to it. So it's like a warmer pink with it's a duochrome and it's very, very pigmented. It's also a foil shade. So far you have 3 foil shades and 1 satin kind of a shade. And this is the first 2 rows. And let me just show you the second row on the other hand. Let me just get this swatch off. Now you have Yemoja. Yemoja is this very icy, it looks blue, but on my skin tone, it, I think I picked it up in the wrong finger. It looks very blue tone in the pan, but it just looks silver on my skin tone. It looks so silvery on my skin tone. I just don't see any blue tones on my skin tone. And then right next to that you have Y. Y is looks like a gunmetal kind of a shade, but do you see how similar this looks to the Yemoja shade? Yemoja, the very pale blue shade looks silver on my skin tone, and this gunmetal kind of a shade, which is definitely way darker, the Y looks silver actually, maybe a hint darker than this, but looks very, I would say, very similar on the eyes. So that both are actually foil shades. And then you have Aja, I'm not sure, and that is actually a satin shade, which is a very deep blackened green forest bottle green shade, I would say. And definitely the green tones really come through. It doesn't look like black. On my skin tone, it definitely, you can see the green. And that's a satin shade. And as you can see, it doesn't like reflect or catch the light or anything. Then you have Faso. Faso is again a duochrome. It has pink and purple tones to it, and I wouldn't call this a foil shade. I think this is like a satin shade, Faso. And this needs a little bit of building up. It doesn't like really I would do 2 layers for my hyperpigmented eyelids. So maybe if you do not have hyperpigmentation, you probably may not need 2 layers of this eyeshadow, but for me, I definitely had to build it up a little bit. And then let's go to the final row. Now this is Ife. Ife is, I would call this an ink blue. Ink blue. Do you see when you shear it out, you can definitely see the blue on my skin tone. Now I did see this shade on a lighter skin tone, it looked very black, but on my skin tone, it definitely, you can see the blue, and it's so pretty. And then you have this very muted teal gold shade. This is again not necessarily a duochrome, but it has both colors like equally mixed in, but it doesn't like I mean, it's not like a duochrome, you know, like in one light it looks gold, in one light it looks like a teal shade. It's not like that. It's just like a gold and muted teal mixed together. And that is again foil shade. And then Buzo, and that is also very pigmented. I did not have to build it up at all. Buzo is beautiful, guys, so beautiful. And that is actually like a grass green shade, and it's very pretty, crazy pigmented, so gorgeous. That is Buzo, and that is also like a foil shade. And then Yejide. Yejide is this shade which hang on, I need to swatch to tell the difference because they look so similar in the pan. Yejide has more blue. Oh wait, this is the ink blue and this has purple tones in it. This is more of an ink blue. I'm sorry, I confused. And this is a more of purple. You can definitely see they are totally different shades when you shear it out. The reason I stress on that is because when you put them in a concentrated place like I have here, like these are the 2 dark shades which would actually bring dimension on my skin tone, because the reds, they do pop, but they're not dark enough to like create like a dimension and depth. So they're just like, if I use this on, if I use the reds on my in my crease, it just kind of makes the eyeshadow loosely hanging there, and it doesn't like complete it, I feel. So I definitely wanted to go into a deep shade. So either this shade, the bottle green, or these 2 deep blue and this purple needs to be used in the crease if you really like that deep dimension. But when you use these blues in a concentrated place like this and you just deposit color and then shear it out, it just looks like black. It doesn't, I just can't see the blue and the purple and this bottle green actually looking like bottle green, blue and purple. They just look, as you can see, you just can't see. They just look very black. But if you like shear it out, and if you really like shear it out in the crease and maybe blow it up, maybe bring it open like to open your eyes, if you just blend it out outside, you can definitely see the colors. But if you like just pat it in a concentrated area like I have, and just to create that to emphasize where my eyelids you know end, and just to create that dimension. If you do that, it just looks like I have black. So there's something to consider. And another thing I really wanted to stress upon is these three shades are so distinctly different in the pan. This frosty pink, and then this gunmetal shade, and then this pale bluish shade. These three are distinctly different shades, right? Now just take a look at my eyeshadow look, the one I have in the entire lid. If I just ask you to guess how many shades I have used on my eyelids, you're probably going to say just one, and maybe take a guess thinking that I have this blue shade, this very pale blue shade on my eyelids. Actually no, I have three shades on my eyelids, believe it or not. And I have used, of course it's a bad choice of colors, I understand, but just to show you guys, that's why I did this look. I have this shade in the outer corners of my eyelid, this gunmetal, and then just inside I have this baby pink, and then in the center I have this shade, this Faso, this duochrome. So I have these three shades, and they look just exactly the same. They just look like I have like one color on my eyelid. Of course I shouldn't have done it, I could have just mixed and matched, but what I'm trying to say is these, like, of course these four shades look exactly the same on the eyes if you use them together. So they are so similar on dark skin. This duochrome, and then this gunmetal, and then this pale blue, and this baby pink. Let me just show it to you maybe together so that you can understand what I'm trying to say. Just below this entire swatch, let me just show it to you. There you go. Do you see these four shades? Do you see how similar they are? And I was a little bit disappointed. This is the baby pink, and then you have the second, and the first one is a baby pink, frosty pink, and then the second one is a duochrome. And then let me just swatch it properly once again, because all the way. Oh wait, this is a different shade. There you go. And then this is the gunmetal, and then finally you have Kogi. Okay, I know I'm making a mess, but the reason I was so disappointed is because JUVI'AS plays prides in creating shades catering to dark skin tone. So these four shades, which look distinctly different in the pan, look so exactly the same on my skin tone and on the eyelid. So I just wish they could have just put a little more thought in choosing these shades, because as you can see, these are the shades that I'm talking about is this shade, this is the baby pink, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the four shades that I'm talking about. These four look so different in the pans, but very, very similar on my skin tone. So I'm really thinking, did they really like test it on deeper skin tone and see how similar they are? I don't know, I'm not sure, but anyways, but formulation is really, really good. I really like it. They are very, very nice, but the 4 shades out of the 16 shades are very, very similar on my skin tone. So yeah, that's the only complaint I have. And the other thing I noticed is the formulation is different. The Masquerade Palette's formulation is different from the Magic Palette and the Saharan. The Saharan and the Magic Palette's formulation are the same. The ingredients list for they are almost the same, but they are in a different order. And there is no mineral oil in the Masquerade Palette, but there is in the new formulation, that is in the Saharan Palette and the Magic Palette, there is mineral oil. If that's something that you really will consider when you're buying a cosmetic product. yeah, it does have mineral oil, and these are different formulations when compared to the Masquerade palette. So that's also something I wanted to like inform you guys. Now let's look into the dupes. Now I have to say the Sokoto in the Saharan palette is the one closest to that, this shade that I was talking about. Now I'm going to say they all look, this has more orange and this has more coral in it. This is from the Saharan palette and this is from the Magic palette. I'm going to say this has more orange, this has more coral, but who am I kidding? On the eyes they are going to look the same. So yeah, that's my verdict. They are dupes. And I do have like an orange shade which looks very similar. I'm going to say 100% similar, guys. So this is from this is Jamila. This is Jamila from the Saharan palette, and this is that that reddish orange shade from the Magic palette. They are very same, and these two, yes, there's a very subtle difference, but when you share it out and even if you like apply it in a concentrated area, they are going to look the same. I'm just saying it. And then you have Senegal. Senegal is that gold shade, bronzy gold shade, which is like now Senegal has a little bit more copper in it, whereas this is more bronze. Senegal from the Saharan palette is more copper and this is more bronze. So but on the eyes, do you guys really think they're going to make a difference? I don't think so, guys. They are going to look very similar on the eyes. So I guess I'm looking at 3 dupes from the Saharan palette. And then Kia, this is that very deep green from the Saharan palette. And then where do we have that? Oh, wrong finger. This is that bottle green from the Magic palette, and let me just swatch it here. Yeah, this is Kia from the Saharan palette, and this is the shade, the bottle green from the Magic palette. I'm going to say the Magic palette looks darker than the Kia shade from the Saharan palette. There's that. It is a little bit darker, definitely, and it's more satin, and this definitely like catches the shade. Or maybe, you know what, I have applied this in a curvature where my finger has like a curvature, so that's why maybe it catches the light. But whereas here it's like kind of flat, so that's why probably it doesn't. But I'm going to say they look very similar, guys. This is definitely on the lighter side, but this is slightly darker. And then what else? I just wanted to finally compare the greens from the Masquerade palette. Now there is only one green. Oops, there's only one green in the Masquerade palette. All of them are blues and purples. So let me just swatch this green. This is like beautiful, somewhere in between a mint green and a, so this is from the Magic palette, and this is from the Masquerade palette. So they look exactly the same if you ask me, but when you look at them in the pan, the Magic palette green definitely looks darker, whereas from the Masquerade it kind of looks, let me just hold it side by side so that maybe you can see. Do you see this is slightly darker? The top is Masquerade and the bottom is the Magic. Just holding these two greens side by side. The one from the Magic slightly darker, but swatch wise they are very similar, and even on the eyes. So I know I don't want to complain too much because the formulation is really good, but I feel they have just recycled a lot of shades from the very recently launched Saharan palette. So if you did not get the Saharan palette, I just say skip it, because I did not like 2 of the satin shades in the Saharan palette. These 2 shades, oh wait, not these 2. This Lulu peachy rose gold shade and this rose gold shade are just pathetic. They are bad shades, and I don't think so I just don't like the Saharan palette. I've just used it say twice, so I just don't like the Saharan palette. But a Magic palette, definitely the formulation and the quality is really good. All of them are good. Now the mattes are on the thinner side, but they apply well, they swatch well, they blend well, so I didn't really encounter any problems with respect to quality. But shade wise, Juvia's Place really like prides themselves in catering to dark skin tone, but did they really check all of the shades on darker skin? And how is it that they missed that 4 shades look so similar on dark skin tone? These are the 4 shades that I'm talking about. Baby pink, then the duochrome. It doesn't look very duochrome, it just looks like a very pale lilac on my skin, and from far away it doesn't look even like lilac. It looks, I have it in the center of my lid, and does it look like lilac? No, it looks like a very gunmetal silver kind of a shade. And then you do have like the gunmetal shade and the very pale blue, which is a silver. So I'm really questioning if they really tested these shades on dark skin, and how is it that they missed that 4 shades out of the 16 shades look so similar on dark skin? And why is it that they really decided that they had to put so many shades that are so similar from the very recently launched palette from Saharan, the Saharan palette? They, as you can see, I have 1, 2. Oh wait, I don't think I swatched the gold. I missed out 1 dupe. Oh wow. This is the Udabe. I'm sorry. Udabe from the, let me swatch it underneath. Yeah. The top has more yellow, and this is more less yellow. The top is from the Magic and bottom is from the Saharan. So I'm going to say very similar shades. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 and the Kia 5. You have 5 dupes from the previous palette, which was launched, what, say 2 months, 3 months ago, 2 months I think. And 4 of the shades look very similar on deep skin tone. So I feel they haven't, I just feel that they were rushing to just launch new stuff and not really put a lot of thought in it. I know there are only so many shades to do, and you can't expect like out of the world creativity, but really they could have just incorporated a lot of more unique shades, but I feel that they haven't. I'm just not happy with the shade range, because in conclusion, the formulation is very good. They all perform beautifully, but since I do have all of the palettes in the previous Juvia's Places release, so that's why probably I'm disappointed. But if you do not have any of the Juvia's Places previous palettes, I think you would really love this, because formulation wise this is really good. But just the shade range, because I do already own it, just the only problem. So if you already have, or if you do not have the Saharan palette, and if you're really wanting to get it, my honest opinion is don't get it and get the Magic palette, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dupes, and the Saharan palette has only 12 shades. So out of the 12 shades, you can find 5 of the shades in the Magic palette. And then and I think the only dupe I could find in the Masquerade palette is the green shade. So that's one thing for me. And even if you do not own any of the previous Juvia's Places release, this is definitely something that would apply to all people who have deeper skin tone. That 4 of the out of the 16 shade look so similar, and I mean, you can definitely make out the difference in swatches, because you're having your swatch up close here. Nobody's coming at you with a microscope when you're wearing it on the eyes, right? Things have to like pop, and they need to look different even from afar. But these don't. Like I said, I have 3 colors on the eyelids, which is baby pink, then this purple, and then this gunmetal, and they all look like, it looks like I have all just one shade on my eyelid. I know it's a poor choice of combination, but I just wanted to show it to you guys how similar they all look. So yeah, that's my review, guys. That's a very long review. Hope you guys found this video useful, and please give this video a thumbs up if you liked watching it, and please subscribe. Bye.